Give me a second, people. Give me a second. I'm trying to pin the link, but I can't do it in this moment. Let me put my headphones. Just wait for me. Because, yes, I'm very responsible. I'm not ready yet. Let me see if you can see me, watch me. Oh, any lights here. Okay, I think that, I need a Bluetooth in this moment. Just give me a minute. Okay, my Bluetooth is connected in this moment. Let me turn off the notifications. You see me, you watch me, I'm here. And let me put here to Lilith. I don't see you.
All right, I see you.
Hi, Lilith.
Hi, how are you?
Great, and you? How are you? Tell me all about you in this moment.
All about me in the moment. I have clothes on, I have pants on. I'm talking to you about the book. It's good, it's good.
Yeah. You are in quarantine like me, and you are in Brooklyn, correct? You are in
Yes, I'm in Brooklyn. Yeah. It's
home.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting a little, intense here, like it's, I mean, yeah, it's been hard. It's been hard. Everybody wants to know what New York City is like, you know what I mean? And I think New York City is more difficult than other places right now, so. But I see you're getting out all the time. You're out there in the green.
I'm trying to survive. Every time that I go out, I just remember that I come from a different situation, but in any way, it's a complicated situation. So what I try to do is just remember, okay, I come from something worse, so I can survive this. And I have a little backyard here. So I go out, I take some sun, and after that I come back to here in the walls to continue writing and texting and reading. I see that you have a little problem with the connection. I can see that. Let me try to help you with this. See? Okay.
I believe for a second, she will be back in any moment. She's having problem with the connection because New York City today is terrible in the weather. Let me take the moment to head this. Okay. Just give her a minute. Hi, Christian. Hi, Diana. Hi, nice. Because I can listen to you. Okay, she's back.
She's trying and she's back.
Yay, I'm back. Yay.
Yeah, your city have a very awkward connection in this moment for the rain and for the situation. So
yeah, no, I know. Everybody's using it. There's a lot of people in New York, so.
Yeah, now internet is like our first tool to survive to this because we have internet. Imagine this situation without the internet. We really
I know it would be terrible. It would be terrible. Even when it goes out for a couple of minutes, I'm like, what's happening?
Really?
But yeah, like you were saying, I've lived through much worse too. So this is we have to stay home. We have to not go out, but we have the internet, we have TV, we have books, we have all of that stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think that's not as hard as, you know, you were talking about my book, you know, and I was thinking about how my grandmother must have had it during 1918 and that flu and everything, you know. She had little babies. I don't have, my kids are grown. I don't have little babies anymore. If I had little babies right now, that would be really hard, I think, you know.
Exactly. Lily, speaking about your book, you have, this is a spoiler alert, the book is amazing for the people who don't read it yet, because I have the opportunity to read this book around 6 or 7 months ago. And I really love the idea of the book from the first moment that I read the title, Orishas, Goddesses, and Voodoo Queens. Sorry if I pronounce any word bad. But when I see the book, the manuscript, the idea was, I really love it because I was in the, let me tell all the situation about me.
Okay.
Years ago, I was trying the Wicca. The Wicca path for me is amazing, but after some years, I recognized that this was my path. So I left the Wicca out of my life in some way, but I have good memories about it. I love the Wicca. What I really love more about the Wicca is the goddess. I think that is the most attractive thing in the Wicca. Because, to be honest, no, I don't see much people going to the Wicca for the male god. The people go for the goddess. But also, I was in this family full of santeros, people who practice santeria, candomblé, kimbanda, umbanda, this kind of thing. And was conflicted in that moment because my family practiced this, but I want to practice this. And I was very conflicted. And I know that I'm not the one in the world who live or think that way, because a lot of people try to find a way in the middle, and this is very complicated. So when I read the book, it was like, Orishas, and Goddesses. Oh, wow, it's amazing. So I started to read it, and I really love all the concepts, how you take all different concepts and you join it. Like, okay, you have all these options. They feel different in some way, but when you analyze and study a lot, you see that they are not so much different as you think. What is the difference there is more about the different words that the people use, but they are pretty similar, and I really like that. Now we can talk all the situation about your book, and you can speak about your book.
Thank you.
Well, I really love it. I need to say it because I really like the book. I don't know if your editor, that is my same editor, told you, but I read the book 4 times before give a response about the assignment that I have, because I was like, you finished the book? Yeah, but let me read it again.
That's great. That's great. I love it. Thank you so much. No, I wanted it to be that way. You know what I mean? You're right. Goddesses is something that's very different than Orisha or whatnot. But there's still things, you know, some people cook for Hecate and we cook for Ochun. You know what I mean? It's different foods, it's different things, but we're still using our food and the things that we make for our friends and our loved ones and our family to help celebrate those sacred aspects of these two different energies, you know what I mean? And I think that together, you know, people can use those kinds of, you're going to cook anyway, especially now, everybody's cooking because they're home and everything. That, you know, so if you know that, oh, okay, well, Oshun things usually have cinnamon in them. Maybe when I'm putting that in that, I'm seeing what the ashe of Oshun is and how that's going to affect my life. You know, it's also very healing. It's used for other things as well, you know, so I think that people can get in touch with the different energy. It's like taking it to a primal level almost, that they can get in touch with the different energies of, you know, everybody loves Marie Laveau and all these other voodoo queens, you know. So I think that they can recognize those things and those energies when they're around them and sort of cultivate it for their own happiness and joy, you know. And the other thing I wanted to talk about in the book is which was hard because nobody really, I know you understand because you're in the tradition, but people who aren't in the tradition don't understand how important it is to have a teacher. You know what I mean? Books are great, but you know, you need somebody to call at 2:00 in the morning. You know, if you have a problem. because your problem is not necessarily going to be the same as my problem or somebody else's problem. And that's why we have a teacher, because somebody who knows, we can go to them and ask them these questions. We get divination and things like that. That's very important. And, you know, all these things together make the religion. It's not just about, you know, light a candle. I got a candle. But it's so much more than that, you know, and I think people don't realize that when they're just in Wicca. You know, I started off with me and my best friend. We were 12 years old and we would do little Wicca spells and everything and stuff like that, you know, and I think Wicca in a way lends itself. Yes, you need a teacher, but not like you need a teacher in, you know, Lukumi or Haitian Voodoo or something like that.
It's more complicated because it's less organized in some way. It's more raw. I don't want to say that it's more natural, but it's more like this have more time in the people. This have more time in the humanity. This has much more history, and this have a lot of different paths. So if you don't have a teacher who sometimes come to tell you, shut up because you don't know about what are you saying, and we need it.
Yes, we all need it.
If you don't have it, you will, in the end, confusing yourself and confusing other people who follow you. And in that where comes the conflict about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of conflict about that. You know, we're doing this on Instagram. There's a lot of people on Instagram. They're like, oh, I can do a spell, again, with a candle and a glass of water. You know, okay, maybe you can. But sometimes... You can
try, but it's a little more difficult. You know, you need some experience about it.
Yes. Yes, you know, but would it be better, you know, all you can drink is water, or you could go out and you could have, you know, a margarita or a beer or something like that. You know, there's so many different options. And when you're talking about spirituality, like you said, this is something that's very old. And for hundreds and hundreds of years, you know, Oshun is used to getting this, or you know, the Loa Razuli is used to getting this. You know what I mean? So if you know those things, it will make everything go smoother than just trying to do it all or make it all up or you know, have it something that you came in a dream or something, you know?
Yeah. When I was in home with my family, this was a conflict. For that reason, I really like your book, because I remember the Wicca was when you are in the Wicca, you see other things like, oh, they are more difficult. They outside is a complicated world full of so different religions, and you need to understand. I was coming from a family who practiced Santeria and this kind of Afro-Caribbean stuff in general. And I remember one day, I never speak about this religion with my friends in the Wiccan circle because I was trying to avoid that kind of attention, because they are so different. So I don't want to be in the middle, because I don't like any kind of conflict. Every time that I see a conflict, I am the coward who wrong. I don't like the conflict with the people. So I was trying to avoid this situation, to speak about Santeria and this kind of thing, because I know the Wicca is pretty different. I have a perspective pretty different to us about the life, about the world, about the magic, about the energy. And I remember one day the priest of the circle was speaking with someone who was new in there, and she said, oh, you need to learn from the Santeros. The people who practice Santeria here in Caracas, Venezuela, they are amazing. They do so much because they have so much books, and they have all these paths about Kimbanda, Umbanda, Candomblé, Macumba, Santeria. All of these things are so beautiful, and they have so many gods and so many goddesses, and they have so much rituals and so much history that you need to learn from these people. And I was listening to that, so proud, like, okay, all my family comes from that, but I never speak about that with the people, because I don't want that kind of attention. But for these people who don't know, but they have experience, they see us in a different way. I was a little like, okay, I remember in that moment when she speak about all of these things, I was like, oh, this is amazing, yeah, I know. But in that moment, I was so irresponsible that when she speak about Umbanda, Kimbanda, Candomblé, all these things for me was like, I don't know about what she are speaking, I don't know the hundreds of words, but I know she's something about Santeria. And after she said that, for me, it was like awakening in that moment. I was like, okay, I need to do more about the religion of my mom. And I started to read the books about Lukumi, about Yoruba, about the culture, about Africa, because uh, when you see the religion, you see the people dressing white and all of that, but you don't ignore all the background that they have in history, in slavery. That is very complicated, especially for people like me, because I am Latino. I come from a tropical country, but I don't look like that. And I know that for people, this can be a little conflict. And I understand the position of them, and I respect that. And in that moment, I had to read all these books, and I was like, I was all my life so fortunate about having this religion in my family, but I never feel like that before. At the moment that now a Wiccan priest is speaking about that with another people. And I was like, oh. And but all my life I continue practicing between the Wiccan magic with my own Caribbean, Afro-Caribbean stuff, but never feel like I found a book who blend these things, and now we have your book. That I really like. I believe it so much. Your book was delicious. It stands the word. I really love it. It was amazing. And before making this video, I was watching that your book in Amazon was #1 in new releases. And it's around top 10 or top 20 in on the list in paperback and ebook, because all the people are looking for your book, because I really think that this book is what the people was looking for so much time.
Yeah, I mean, I think people want to know more. They really do. They want to understand more. They want to understand. Like, there are people, I did a reading not too long ago, and the woman said, you know, I want to study, but I don't know where to study, and I don't know who to study. There's so many people out there that are fake. There's so many people that are cultural appropriators. There's so many people that, you know, aren't. Somebody else messaged me before I got on, and they, you know, also had a master's degree. I have a master's degree. I study this in school. I practice it. I live it. You know what I mean? That's what I've been doing for, you know, at least 40 years, you know, so a long time, you know, so I think I can see it from a lot of different perspectives, you know, like I never became a Wicca high priestess, but I've gone to a lot of Wicca circles. I've talked to a lot of Wiccans. I do a lot of Wiccan pagan events and things like that. So people who are not necessarily from an ATR, I talk to them a lot too, you know, and some of them say, oh, did she say get a teacher? Yay, because so many idiots out there don't say that. Did she say don't try this at home because some of it can be dangerous? Of course I say that in the book, you know what I mean? Even if, you know, when I was trying to get it published, people were like, oh, well, no one's going to want to buy it if you say that this religion can be dangerous. But I was like, but it's the truth. I don't want to tell somebody they can do whatever they want. They can make up stuff. There's a bunch of controversy this week about somebody trying to petition Legba and ending up dead, you know. So I'm not saying this is going to happen to everybody or this has had anything to do with that woman's death, but there are things that are really dangerous in this religion. The same way I always think about cooking. You know, there's things in the kitchen you can't eat. There's things, you know, you can't turn on the stove and walk away for 3 hours because your kitchen will be on fire. So there's rules that people have to follow, and there's a system that people have to follow. And I tried to put that in this book, but I also tried to say to people, sure, if you want to light a candle, if you want to go to the river, if you want to listen to some songs for Oshun, that's okay. You know, you don't have to be terrified of it. There's still things that you can do in a respectful way, you know, and I think that was the important thing for me when I was writing this book, that I wanted people to be respectful and realize it wasn't that, you know, it was something to stay away from. It was just something to approach respectfully and knowledgeably. Yeah, that's it.
No, what's very interesting, when I come, I live in Venezuela most of my life, but I grew up in some part, in a little tribe, very close to the Orinoco River. And they have so many gods too. but these gods don't have name. When I back to the United States, I don't like judge, be a judge of the people because I know that every person speaks from their experience, and when they don't have experience, it's easy come to speak about you or things that they really don't know too much because it looks like, oh, this is cool, but they don't have experience. I remember one day I was around a swamp. I found a swamp here in New York in autumn, in fall, with my partner. We was walking around and I made a video and I pushed the video and I was like, this is a good place to honoring the gods of the swamp because they are beautiful and blah, blah, blah. This was around 2 years ago, and I remember when someone comes to tell me, oh, you can honor something like that because this is cultural appropriation, this is from South America. And you are honoring something that you don't know. This is appropriation from Brazil, from these things. And it was like, from where he thinks I come. But also, this reminds me, like someone come to tell you this is bad, someone else come to probably will think this is cool. I will try to make this. I will try to honor the god of the sun. They don't know that in Brazil or next to the Orinoco River in Amazonia, the god of the sun is a god of the dead things who symbolize the renovation, like the swamp. The swamp takes all the dirty, all the stuff around and try to clean the water in the place. And I was like, okay, I need to be more clear about the things that I say because the people don't know what I'm saying. And it's easy to go to Wikipedia, read articles, and maybe try to have a master in that thing. But we need to clarify this kind of things. And for that reason, it's important, books like yours, because you take the time to say to people, okay, this is important things or important rules that other people are telling you. This is very important that you know these things. Because if you want to practice, okay, this is not just cool. You don't go just to dress in black and say, oh, I am a witch. Oh, this is a lot of protocols. This is a lot of rituals. This is a lot of initiation. This is a lot of studying. You have rituals normally in other languages that you don't know, that you don't speak, and you need to learn these languages because to use it. All these kinds of things are pretty important for us, for the religion. If you really want to be part of a religion, of a practice, you need to learn the language. You can't say just the part of the religion who looks cool and take it because it looks cool. You need to learn a lot. You need to take years of study. And it's very important, be humble about, because you can see people like you continue studying and you are an expert. I remember days ago when I say, oh, I want to make this video with Lilith Dorsey. A lot of people come to my Instagram and my Facebook to tell me, oh, you go to speak with Voodoo Queens, and now I have you here, and you are admitting that you was studying for make this book.
Oh, yeah.
We need more people who ask that kind of things. You can be an expert in something, but be an expert don't mean that you don't continue studying. You need to continue studying all your life about the things that you really care.
Of course. You know, the person, I used to have the Oshun newsletter back, I think we started in 92 or something like that. So that was a long time ago. And, you know, the person who used to write my reviews, his name was John Gray, and he wrote a book called Ashe, and it's 600 pages. And it's little teeny type words about every book that he could find about the Orisha and music for the Orisha and, you know, poetry, songs, everything he could find. And he told me that he could study this the rest of his life and never be done. And it's true. You have to keep learning every day. Every situation is different. You know, I know witches now that are like, oh, I wrote 50 spells in one day. And I said, no, you can't write a spell and then turn around the next day and tell everybody to go use it. You have to have these things that you've been using it for years. You've been using it in different situations. Oh, what happens if I give this to somebody who's a man? What if I give it to a woman? What if I give it to a child? What if I give it to someone who's trans? Are all of these things going to be different? How's it going to work? You know what I mean? You have to see what each of the magical instructions do before you pass it on to somebody. That's another one of these things that's dangerous, you know? I had a woman once who wanted to win win the lottery. And she came to me and she won the lottery, and then her husband died the next day. So it was like she wasn't looking in the right place. Now I tell people they have to get a reading first, because you need to know what you should be looking at, not just looking over here at, oh my gosh, I need this money, or oh my gosh, I need this man or this woman or this situation. You need to be looking at what the right thing is for you to look at. And that's what I tell people to focus on. It's not what they want to hear, because it's not easy, you know.
Yeah.
They want it to be easy, and real magic is not easy at all.
Exactly. I always repeat, because I read a lot of people saying, oh, magic is always the easy way. And I'm like, well, I don't know. Well, when you are in magic, for me, nothing is easy. And I don't know. I never consider myself either in anything. But I continue learning every day. And every time that I learn something new, for me, it's like, okay, I need to learn so much more, because there's so much information out there. And all of this information is literally beautiful wisdom for the ancestors that you have in your hands now in a book, also that they probably don't have in their time. And you need to take all this wisdom, all this information, all this knowledge, being humble to learn all of this. And because it's not an easy way, it's just to study and practice and continue practicing every day. And sometimes you will practice some kind of things that don't go to have results, but you need to learn why we don't have a result, why this not what they asked for, why, I don't know, you make a spell of protection, but this don't work for you, and the next week someone comes to rob you. What happened in there? Why this spell don't work? You need to do all these formulas, it's a lot of information that you need to have, and you need to continue learning, because the learning is the real wisdom, is the real power here. And yeah, I feel a little frustrated about the situation, because the people see magic like the easy thing, but magic don't have easy ways in any way. You take a point that I really like. Lilith Dorsey, you believe in the initiations?
Oh yeah, definitely. I have a lot of initiations. Yeah. I have my Alikes and my warriors. I have, and I have initiations in Haitian Voodoo, and I belong to a New Orleans style voodoo house, and I have my own New Orleans voodoo style house here in Brooklyn. Although we're pretty much all over. We got people in Florida, we got people in Louisiana, we got people here in New York, we got people in Connecticut. So we got people all over, but we practice a bunch of different things the way that they do in New Orleans, you know what I mean? And I think this is something that confuses people too, because I didn't just go out and join a bunch of different religions because I thought it was cool, I was already practicing New Orleans voodoo, and then my daughter passed, and I had my first Mambo priestess, who was also a Santera. She came right after we had the funeral for my daughter, and she was like, oh, how would you like some Haitian initiations? I was the first person she ever initiated, and she was a very Ogun type woman, a drummer, and I needed that. Yeah, I know. I needed that at that moment. I really did. I needed her strength and her guidance in that moment. And, I love her. And that it wasn't really just, oh, I want to do all these things. Because I think, people get confused about me. Why did she do all these different things, And then I joined Lukumi again, because after my daughter died, I needed a justice spell. And the only thing I could do was go to a Santera and get a justice spell for Ochosi, and it worked, and we ended up getting as much justice as we could out of the situation. So it was definitely something that was really intense, and it wasn't like, oh, I want to be the queen of everything, and like that wasn't what was going on. It was definitely, and I think a lot of people do come to Santeria or Lukumi or Voodoo because it is like a life and death situation. They have a really serious situation that they need to handle, and maybe what they were doing before didn't work, or maybe what they tried before. And again, this is why you have a teacher, because you can go to them and help them guide you and say, oh, well, this needs to be done, and this needs to be done, and this needs to be done. And then hopefully you can get what you need in the situation. Not always what you want, but what you need in the situation.
Yeah, I think that one of the most beautiful things in these religions, Afro-Caribbean religions, is that I don't wanna be the bad guy who makes the other religions like complicated or something. But the thing that I personally see most beautiful in the Afro-Caribbean religions is they always have this amazing perspective of life that is okay from the moment that they born and they start to learn about the practice about the religion. They are always trying to connect life with death, and they are always honoring the ancestors. And when someone pass away, they don't. It's not like oh pass away and I don't have more contact with this person. They continue honoring this person. They make rituals for this person. They make a celebration for this person. Some people celebrate the continually birthdays of this person.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful because they really connect with the dead. It's life and death continually. It's not like, okay, if you practice this religion, you will be happy after life. No, it's like you are in this religion to be happy with the afterlife now, in this moment. And when you pass away, the people after you will continue connecting you in the pass away because the religion is that it's like a bridge between these both worlds. And this is the thing that I really like more about. Uh, I have a doubt. We are in the state in between Beltane, that is a weekend celebration,
Yes.
and we have between tonight and tomorrow the Walpurgisnacht.
Mm-hmm.
Walpurgisnacht.
Walpurgisnacht, yes.
And you celebrate any of this?
Well, I mean, I got a lot of different ancestors. So, you know, my great-grandmother was Celtic, and her maiden name was Holborn, which comes from the goddess Hel. So Walpurgisnacht is all about hell. So yeah. Holborn means hell born. So like she came from a whole bunch of people that worshipped hell and were said to be a part of her. So this has always been a big celebration for me anyway, you know, and then Beltane because of the Celtic side of things. So I just like it. I love the fact that it celebrates, you know, sex and bounty and like darkness and all of these things all rolled up together. I think it's just so fantastic, you know.
Lilith, you have, in this moment, all of us are in quarantine. All of us are in the shelter. And some people can't be in the shelter because they work in other things. First of all, what do you recommend for these people in the shelter? What do you recommend to do? Second question, where I can find you if I feel interest in online classes or courses or this kind of things with you, online workshops that you are doing.
Oh, okay. That's good. Well, okay. So ancestors, I mean, I tell everybody ancestors, anybody can start with their ancestors, have an ancestor altar, have the pictures, have the food, have candles, have money, whatever, tobacco, whatever they liked while they were alive, put it there. And I think if you start interacting with it, you know, it's like those are the people that cared about you the most. They have a stake in seeing that you survive and you thrive. They've been through it all. You know what I mean? I'll hold up the book. I talk about in the book about how, yeah, right.
Buy your copy, buy your book because it's amazing. Spoiler alert, it's amazing. You really will love it.
I talk about, you know, again, how our foremothers went through all of this. You know what I mean? There have been plagues before. There's been extreme hardship and having to deal with, you know, sudden death and difficulty and shortages and all of these things, you know. So I talk about that you can have your own empowerment about, you know, understanding some of these things and who were the people that they worshipped and having that be a continuous thing, you know. So like they say in the program, it works if you work it. So like the more energy you put into your ancestor altar, the more blessings you can get back from it. It's a deal, an interaction that you have with them. And people can check out my website, lilithdorsey.com. People can order the book in a bunch of different places online. People can check out my blog, email me at voodoouniverse@yahoo.com if they want to get a signed copy. I don't know when I'm getting to the post office, though, because things are rough here, and I don't know if I want to go to the post office right now, but you'll get them. If you want to order a signed copy, you'll get them as soon as I can, make it safely to a post office. And thank you so much for having me. This was a great conversation.
I need something. This will work. People,
yeah, right.
Listen that. A signed copy. Take
okay.
it now.
I like it. Yeah. Oh, yes. And special for all your listeners, anybody wants to DM me and send me their mailing address, I have stickers. So I will mail them a sticker because I can just put that in the mailbox. So, yeah. Yes.
Lilith, you know that I love you from the first day I see you.
Oh, you're wonderful.
You really know I'm crazy for you. And I feel amazing this night to have you here because, I really love you, have amazing connection with you. It's sad that you live in Brooklyn, I live in Queens. We are so close, but the people can't understand that the connection between Brooklyn and Queens is
far. It's far. Yeah.
Exactly.
Especially now, It's far. Yeah.
Exactly. It's so weird because you are practically next to me, but it's complicated. It's so complicated to explain, but I really love you. I do know that. And I really love how this time with you tonight. Thank you. Thank you for making this amazing book because I really love it. And I promise, I read it 4 times. And I love your last book about law magic that I really like it. It was awesome too because it was a mix of so many things. And also, I will have the opportunity to make this with you in the future. I really will love have that opportunity. And I really love you for a simple thing to exist because you are a wonderful person.
Oh, thank you.
I hope that you are having a good time here.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Okay. For the people, I will put this video in YouTube tomorrow with all the links to the book of Lilith. If you are coming now, let me tell you, Lilith Dorsey have a new book titled Orishas, Goddesses, and Voodoo Queens. If you don't understand anything for my accent, I understand. I don't understand myself. That is the book, and I really love it. Please look for the book. If you don't find it in Amazon, it's very weird because the book is now in this moment in number 1 of Amazon in all the genders or styles or themes about voodoo, magic, and witchcraft. Okay? Have a good night, people.
Good night.
I love you. Please, all of you, stay safe and stay well. And Lilith, you and all your loved ones, please stay safe and stay well.
Yeah, stay safe, man. Bye.
Bye, people.